Hey everyone. So I wanted to answer this question that I get from clients in particular a lot, but I mean from everyone really a lot. Uh, and that is the guy I'm seeing playing games? What is going on here? I just feel like he's just not serious. He's not playing games with me, right? And so the answer to that question is maybe, right? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I usually need a lot more information than just is he playing games, and a little bit more history on what's going on there. But I really want to get down to the nitty gritty of the idea that guys are just out here playing games and that's just how they are. And truthfully, that's just kind of how some humans in general are. There's 8 billion people in the world. Some of them are jerks and some of them are playing games, right? When it comes to guys, though, the answer is much more nuanced. The answer is much more of a mixed bag on whether or not they're playing games. What's actually happening, and I've mentioned this before, and this is actually kind of a continuation of my prior video because I don't want to, talk y'all's ear off, but of how men and women are socialized, right? How we show up in the world, and how that shows up is women, we are taught to prioritize relationships. Men are not, right? That doesn't mean they don't want relationships, and I keep every time I say this, I'm going to follow up with that too. It doesn't mean they don't want them; they just don't prioritize them. They are told to prioritize status, how much they make. Those are the things that they are taught to prioritize. For men, it's really drilled home that the world is a transactional place. And if you don't get a certain status, if you don't get a certain job, make a certain amount of money, you are not going to be a respected individual, right? And so that is what they're taught to prioritize. When it comes to relationships, though, and just dealing with women, this kind of creates a bit of a conundrum for them, right? Because if they don't feel that they are ready to show up in the world the way that it's telling them this is who you need to be, but they also find themselves wanting the benefits of having a companion, of having a girlfriend, wife, whatever, what they're going to start doing is trying to find ways to fill that void without actually committing just yet, right? And so how does that actually manifest? Well, for women, that manifests in like, I don't really know, is he actually serious? Does he want something long term? Does he actually like me? And so on their end, the the answer may actually be yes, but they're dealing with a whole nother set of factors that tells them, okay, it's time to commit now, or it's safe to commit now, right, than women have on our end, right? And I've said before, we kind of have more of a Disney idea of or what relationships should look like. And I was talking to someone yesterday too, and he was like, yeah, I kind of do too. And I was like, yeah, I can kind of see how that dynamic can work, right? But we do have to take into account, like I said, just the way, we're socialized and where your brain tends to kind of go when you're dating. And you really have to check yourself a lot and say, okay, wait a minute. Is this how I'm socialized really rearing its head, right? Or is this really how I want to show up right now, right? You really need to ask yourself a lot of questions when you're out here, just to be clear with yourself on how you're navigating the, dating market. I hate using the word market. It's not a store. But anyway. So what we're actually seeing here, a lot of times I'm finding when women say, is he playing games? And I just kind of take a deep dive into what's happening. I'm like, Usually, no. Usually, what's happening is intentions are not lining up. All right? Intentions just aren't lining up. And he's not necessarily going to, he's not necessarily going to say, yeah, I don't actually want to be with her long term. Because he may genuinely like you, right? He may think you're pretty. He may think that you are just, a great time every time he's with you. But let's say that maybe he doesn't like you that much. You're just, you are truly a placeholder for until he gets to where he wants in life. On our end, that's when we're feeling like, this energy is a little off, or he seems to be kind of hot and cold. I wonder what's going on here. Is he, like I said, is he playing games, or like, no. It's just some of those things that naturally happens when, like I said, you're not totally prioritizing something, or when you're just kind of iffy about it, right? A lot of times it's not necessarily a place of maliciousness, or malice, I should say. Place of malice. Is maliciousness a word? Somebody please tell me. But it's not a place of, malice or anything like that. It can be, though. Like I said, this is a very nuanced question. Like, is he playing games? Like, okay, we gotta get one of those, when, in movies and like cop shows or whatever, where they have like the pins and the things leading to wherever. That's what we need when it comes to the question, like, is he playing games? Because a lot of times what we're actually seeing, though, is just male nature kind of at work, in terms of how they're prioritizing and showing up in the world. Not always, right? When I talk about our nature and things like that, this is just a tendency to act in certain ways based on how we're taught by society. It's definitely it's a scale, it's a spectrum. It's not just a cold, like, okay, this is how this group is acting, this is how this group is acting. Because women can very much act like this too, and men can actually act on the other side too. Like, why is she playing games? What is going on here, right? So what I'm just talking about is a tendency, right? Talking in tendencies. And so, again, a lot of times when we're asking these questions, it's just a matter of intentions not lining up, combined with poor communication, combined with people in general are always going to look out for themselves. And that last one is very important, because if you don't have an emotional bond with someone, if you're not actually in love or adore them, it is very, 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 very easy, much more likely that a person is looking out for their own best interest, right? And so I don't want to demonize anyone for acting in their own best interest just in and of itself, because all humans do that. Don't let there be a free sample at the grocery store and you like it. You're going to try to get 2, aren't you? You're going to try to get 3, 4 maybe, right? That's just what humans do. But unfortunately for the other person on their end, they're seeing like, oh, okay, I'm pouring into this and they're taking it, but they're not investing in me in the same way I thought. What's going on here? Right? I honestly don't believe that the vast majority of people are out here just waking up going, how can I be a menace today? Some are, most aren't. More likely, though, like I said, is just people not being self-aware enough. People not being as considerate as they should be out here, right? It's just a lot. And this is why I always go back to properly vetting, asking enough questions, just kind of getting a feel for the vibe of what's going on, right? Making sure that you understand that time is on your side in this process of just relating to people and getting to know them and dating. Dating is supposed to be a discovery process. And you really need to keep in mind, especially in the earlier stages, that you need to make sure that you understand your needs, and how they're getting met. Also the other person's, but that's delving more so into the, relationship realm. This is just still talking about, initial stages of dating, and all the ways in which, like, these situations can kind of go left, or and really leave you hurt and confused right out the gate if you're not totally, if you don't have a full understanding, right, of what is actually going on. So hopefully, for those of you who asked that question, this is probably going to be like maybe a quarterly video of me answering this question. Like, is he playing games? Is he wasting time? And the thing is, when it comes to wasting time too, we got to understand that for the person getting their needs met, it is not wasting time. It's wasting time for you because you're not getting your needs met, and your intentions aren't being met. But if they are, that's why a lot of times, I'll have someone go, well, why did he act like, we were boyfriend and girlfriend if that's not what he wanted? Well, got to break that down a little bit, right? Actually, being a couple is commitment. So he didn't want commitment, but he did want all of the benefits and perks of having a relationship, possibly. Maybe he just wanted to have you around to talk to because he doesn't have anyone else to talk to. Or he just doesn't, I don't know, there's a lot of reasons. I can come up with like 1,000 reasons why that happened, right? And when it comes to this question in particular, it has to be more of I have to address it more broadly, because there are so many factors that can go into why something's happening, right? And I said most likely he's not playing games, but for some of you, no, he absolutely is playing games, and like, what? But again, I would have to actually look at that particular situation and be like, what? I'm like, nah, yeah, he is on some other stuff, like, because some of these guys out here, absolutely. Personally, I've had someone before say, I do want to marry you eventually. I'm very happy right now. I'm very committed to what we have here, right? But it wasn't true. He wasn't interested in marriage. He was in that instance, he was playing games and was trying to get benefits of having a relationship without actually being truthful, right? But there's so many different reasons why, why so many certain things, basically, like what I said before. Nuance. One of my favorite words, nuance, right? So again, hopefully that answered some questions for you. I want you all to understand that when it comes to dating and relating to people and whatnot, that as excited as we may get about a person, this is for men and women, we have to just sit down and say to ourselves, like, okay, what is my actual intention here? What do I want the outcome to be? Am I using the best, am I using the best methods? Am I using my best insight to actually go about doing this thing called dating, right? Am I just out here chasing a person? Because that's a compliment when I say best methods, right? And this is usually for guys who may be chasing, right? Like, okay, if she doesn't really like you all like that, and it's like, and you believe that you would be a great partner, but she's just whatever. Like, okay, then that method is probably not the best suited one for you at this time, sir. Your time is valuable, and it'd probably be best be used elsewhere, right? Some of the methods that we use are not the greatest at all sometimes, right? And I'm a person who's very cognizant of what time offers us. Once you use time, you can't get it back, right? Time is more useful, or more important, I should say, than money. Money, you can always make more money. Can't always make more time. Once it's gone, it is gone, right? But anyway, I keep saying, wrapping up. Hopefully that answered your questions. Keep them coming. I do still look at, people who submit questions, even though I do answer them specifically during that prior month I had where I was just answering questions every day, usually on Instagram though. But yeah, keep them coming. And thank you so much for watching.